We're back here on the Lynne Hayes Freeland Show. Jonny Gammage to Mr. Floyd. Amazing the similarities. Tim Stevens, Billy Jackson, Khalid Rahim. Billy, I'm going to start with you because you actually did this documentary looking at the Jonny Gammage story. Looking at where that Jonny Gammage story ended. Have we learned anything? I mean, we've seen the protests, we've seen the pain, we've seen the trial. Have we learned anything 25 years later?
I'll try and be as brief as possible. We've learned some things. We learned defense strategies that are used to get guilty people off. And that's one thing we've learned. We've learned the power of the fraternal order of police to guide things that go on in the courtroom as well as what happens in the street. What I think is important is we learned a lot basically from people like yourself, shows like your shows that bring what's going on to the attention of the people in the media. The media is important. It's important that we fight back this whole fake news thing that's going on with the current president. And it's important that we participate and that we let other people know what the strategies are and what we need to do. In other words, that truth and justice needs to prevail. That's what we've learned. But what we've also learned is until we get people in power to help to defend the innocent people who are being victimized, we're not going to change anything.
Because Kelly, these are kids now who are out here. These are kids who are out here now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're young people, they're young adults, they're teenagers, but many of us were in the same position during the course of our youth.
Yeah, that's true.
One of the things that we really haven't learned, or what we have not been willing to learn again, is how to engage the police when they themselves engage in unjustified violence towards our people. We did have folks years ago who set a standard. We had the Deacons for Defense, we had the Black Panther Party, we had the courageous leader of the NAACP chapter in North Carolina, Robert F. Williams. We need to go back to those examples and those protocols and re-examine them and find ways for us to apply them to today's situation. We have to move beyond standing to the side while cops choke people to death and all we do is video record it, okay? We have to move beyond that. And unfortunately, it's gonna require us to make some tremendous sacrifice. Some of us are going to go to jail because of it, and some of us may get shot or killed. But much in the same way that our civil rights leaders and workers and advocates took the same chances and the same risk, we have to step up to the plate. And this is regardless of how old or young you may be. We have to move beyond standing on the sides, watching the police literally choke someone to death, okay, in front of our families, in front of our friends, and take a picture of it.
Before we take a break, let me, Tim, weigh in on that.
I'm going to tell you something that the mayor said. Mayor Jacob Fry from Minneapolis. He said, what we've seen over the last 2 days and the emotion-ridden conflict of the last nights is a result of so much built-up anger and sadness. He says it's a reflection of Black community's anger of over 400 years of inequalities. And that's a white mayor making that statement. And it's a real honest statement. And that's why the pain is so deep, because it keeps happening. Now, we did get some success out of the death of Jonny Gammage. We did get the first federal consent decree in the nation that overviewed or oversaw our police department for 5 years. And out of the Jordan Miles incident, which was January 12, 2010, we got new pieces of legislation, which included codifying the consent decree that ended Friday the 13th of September, 2002, 5 years after the 97 consent decree. And those regulations are now in place. We've had some progress, and we've had in recent years in Pittsburgh additional training of our police officers. And unfortunately, the tragedy of Antoine Michael Rose was in East Pittsburgh and not Pittsburgh, because the Pittsburgh police have been trained at another level. And what I said to the chief today, the chief actually texted me this morning, which I think is—
Real quick, because we got to take a break.
But some piece of progress expressing his concern about what happened and saying this is not how police should operate. That came from Chief Schubert this morning. And that at least, and then other officers across the country, I understand, police departments have been commenting that this is not the way officers should operate.
Okay.
But quickly,
hold on, no. Hold that thought. You got to hold that thought.
Okay, I'm going to hold this thought about the police and what they do and what they don't do.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll come right back. We need an hour show. What can I say? See you right back.
Yeah, we do.
This is passionate stuff.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this case for weeks, even months to come. What's important is that we remember the facts of this case. We allow investigators time. It's not going to happen as quickly as we want it to happen. We know that already. But we are going to give them an opportunity to investigate. We're going to push for charges. We're going to follow it through the court system. And let's take a lead from this family. I think in these cases, it's always important that the family set the tone. And in this case, the Floyd family has already set the tone. Now, that said, Election Day is coming up. You have all weekend. You have until Tuesday to get your ballot in if you went with the mail-in ballot. If you didn't mail your ballot, don't fret. You can still hand deliver it, take it down to the county office building. They're going to be on hand. You can drop your ballot off until 8 p.m. on Tuesday. They are already expecting record turnouts with these mail-in ballots. Don't let it be a deterrent. Just drop it off. Get your mask on. Take your ballot down there. Drop it off. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you what party to support. I'm just saying fill the ballot out and take it in. In the meantime, I'm Lynne Hayes Freeland. Don't forget, Monday through Friday, KDKA Radio. Make sure you tune in. This is going to be some exciting times. We are coming through the other side of the pandemic. Better days are coming. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week on Zoom.